Eclipse OpenJ9 community call. As always, please add your name and affiliation to the list of attendees just so we know who's been joining. Okay, and then I'll pause here at the top of our agenda and just give people a chance to bring up any topics that they want to add to the agenda or any immediate concerns right off the bat. All right, if there is something that comes up, feel free to tack it into the any other business section towards the end of the agenda, and we'll tackle it as we get there. We don't have a lightning talk scheduled this week, so if there is something somebody would like to talk about, would love to have that. So please feel free to reach out, and we'll get something scheduled. All right, so we'll take a look at the end user issues that have come in since the last one of these calls. See, there's an illegal access happening, Java 16. So it looks like Pete, based on your comment here, am I reading this correctly that this is likely a duplicate?
I don't know that it's a duplicate, but the user tried the build we had on the weekend of the release and said the problem didn't occur anymore. So I'm not sure what it would be a duplicate of because it didn't fit with the one issue I knew about.
So this can likely be closed out once the next release comes through.
Yeah, the user's saying that they can't reproduce it using a preliminary release build. So as long as that, there's no changes between then and what we're releasing, except the changes that are coming from OpenJDK. So
that's good. See, there's some discussion going on the other one of these here, which is the J command is hanging.
Yeah, that seems more like the user's machine problem than a problem with the VM, because they trigger, a dump gets triggered and then the machine kind of hangs and they have to reboot the machine. So OpenJ9 is just sending a signal. I don't know that any hanging of the machine would have anything to do with OpenJ9 once that occurs.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't sound like something we'd be responsible for. Question about the documentation. Right, and then the rest of these are older. Is there anything else in this list that should be looked at, discussed today? And we'll jump back to the agenda. Reminder about leaving help wanted issues and good first issues created available so that new people wanting to join the project have an easy onboarding path. And then I'll pull up the download stats. Take a look at OpenJ9. Seeing a nice upward trend for all of them. 8's down a little bit. I suspect 11 will be up. Yeah. And 16 is down. As expected, 11 continues to dominate the downloads there. Is there anything else in these trends that people want to look at today? Jump back to the agenda. And we have the 0.26 release. That is coming out very soon. Have the OpenJDK levels been tagged at this point?
I've not noticed them yet. I shall check again now just to see. Usually later this evening.
Yeah, I don't see the tags yet.
So it'll be the usual wait for the tags, import things, and then get the builds out as quickly as we can. Is there any?
I'll do what I can today, get the test started, and If they progress far enough, I'll create the tags and let people know they can start builds. Otherwise, we'll complete tomorrow if things can't complete today.
Right, thanks, Peter.
Then I guess there's not much else to talk about for the 0.26 release. I just wanted to follow up on the CMake performance piece of this.
Yep. So we've been doing some perf runs to look at throughput. So we've been doing some profiling. So far, we're not 100% sure what exactly is going on, but we are seeing increased kernel activity and decreased JIT activity in the mixed builds. But we're running with different JIT and AOT optimization levels and options to narrow down what exactly is going on. I am moving on for another opportunity. So Marius will be taking over the perf work, and Toby will be the touch point for VM specific questions related to this. So I guess going forward, Marius will be the touch point for perf work here.
Thanks, Sharon. And for all your work on the project over the past few years. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope that you continue to show up here and there when you're able to.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I'm still going to be in the OpenJ9 public Slack, so anyone can reach out there anytime. And yeah, thanks for having me be a part of the project and the community.
As we look, the next release coming up then, after we complete this one, will be the 0.27 release, which will come out in July. Pete, have you already started putting tentative dates towards the code splits and milestones?
No, I haven't picked any dates yet, but we can use the usual formula and set some dates. Code split would be what, the first weekend in June kind of thing?
Usually. Find a calendar.
Like around the 5th or 6th June.
Yeah, June 6th.
And then
release. Sorry, go ahead.
27th of June for milestone 1 would occur right away, I guess. So June 7
for the Monday then.
Milestone 2, we need to figure out when the OpenJDK release is.
It's usually the second Tuesday, isn't it?
It's the Tuesday that's closest to the 17th, something like that. So I think it's going to be the 20th again. So actually the third Tuesday. So we could either do the milestone 2 on July 27th or July 4th. Let's do it the 27th because there'll be some vacation days. That weekend of the July 4th is probably going to be an extra long weekend or something.
Okay.
Go check my calendar. Yeah, so those of us at IBM have Thursday and Friday off, so it makes it an extra long weekend. I would like the July 1st, July 2nd, so I think the June 27th is better.
Sounds good. All right, so that'll be the tentative dates we'll be working towards for that release. I know we have a lot of stuff in that milestone plan, and so we should be paying attention to trying to bring that down already. I know it's kind of silly, feels almost silly to be talking about that when we're just finishing off the other release, but current schedule, they come quickly. just a reminder to everyone to please take a look at that and make sure the right things are added to that 0.27 release and that we're making. And I guess I will hand things over to Shelley if she's on the call for the regular adopt update.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to update here. We've been doing a lot of prep for this release for this week. In terms of transitioning the remaining set of repos to the Adoptium GitHub org, there are only 5 that remain, and 2 of them have the approval to be moved now from the Eclipse IP team. So we will plan to move those after the release completes. And hopefully the last 3 should follow shortly. And then we'll have fully moved over.
Anyone have any questions for Shelley or the Adopt team? Belong to Adam. Is there an update on the infrastructure?
Not much to say. The Artifactory percentage, even though we increased time based from 40 to 45, we still decreased disk usage. So just spot checking a random nightly build, we are at keeping 40 artifacts now. We could keep increasing, but we should keep in mind that come was it October when 17 goes out, we'll have 5 versions instead of 4 we'll be building, so we'll have to roll those numbers back if we keep increasing them. So if we leave them at as is right now, I think we would be safe to support a 5th version, but I guess Pete and I can talk about that offline.
Yeah, I'm good to keep it at 40 days. I think
Okay.
it's long enough to keep stuff. For now, anyways. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. And I see Joe has a comment there about the RH64 system. I don't know if he wanted to say something.
Sorry, I got noise on my end. Hopefully the noise cancellation is blocking most of it. Yeah, they just we had to open an issue at Packet to get the new Ampere Mount Jade, and I processed that yesterday on Dan's behalf because I used all Dan's credentials since the same request that he had used for the original application. For one, we've been told we're in the queue. From what I can tell from the issues, we're about 3 or 4 down. There's 3 or 4 other projects that are ahead of us. If you Google the Mount Jade, you'll see the specs. I think it's about 80 CPUs. We haven't been told how many instances we'll be able to generate off it, though. So I expect we'll have more information for the next call.
Thanks, Joe. I guess we'll move to the next section. Babneet, is there an update on the OpenJDK method handle work?
I think there's no major update for OpenJDK method handle work. We're still fixing functional failures, and I'm hoping that we will be down to 2 to 3 segfolds by the end of this month. And we will still have a month remaining where I'm hoping that those segfolds will be fixed before our deadline for the first week of June, which is the 0.27 release deadline. And we should also be able to do some more benchmarking next month. And I think this sums up my update. I'll pass it back to you, Dan.
So you still believe that we're on target to make that the 0.27 release?
Yes.
It's good to hear. Devin, is there an update on CMake?
Yeah, so I have the ZOS build working, and I'm just running through the diff now to make sure that all the changes for my working tree I have open as PRs, and so far it looks like everything is there. So then it's just a matter of kind of pushing those PRs through.
It's great. Check if Marius is on the call. Don't see him, so I'm going to assume we don't have an update today for the operator and helm discussion. Reminder that the next microjit meeting is on April 22nd. And a reminder that we're looking to move the repos that have not been moved yet to the Eclipse OpenJ9 organization once we complete this release. So expect that to be happening in the very near future.
Yeah, we should be able to do that next week.
And that shouldn't take any action on anybody's part. Redirects should continue to work, no problem.
Well, the instructions were that the committers need to update their links. I assume that means if you have Git clones or remotes, you should update your links.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been working with.
I think what happens is that you get automatically forwarded to the new location, but it's good practice to make sure there should be an issue opened in the repos to check if any documentation or scripts reference the old locations, that those get updated as well as another action. Though if you don't, it will continue to work, but it's not really good practice.
Yeah, thanks, Shelley. I was going to say something very similar to. I've played with some other repos that got moved, and my links have continued to work. So I agree it's good practice, but I don't think we'll break any workflows while those things are being updated.
So the one thing we've seen break for Adopt OpenJDK moving some things is if within a branch, if someone is there's one scenario that's very rare that you might hit where someone tries to run something within their branch that's within or a pull request on a branch against an old repo trying to use a new something. If you have cloned it from the new repo and you have references to the old repo in the branch, and then you try to run something. But it's a very unusual edge case that I don't think happens very often. Anyway, the matter should be resolved by an update of references.
Good to hear that for the most part you're finding that there's not many concerns there either.
Yeah, although then it makes it hard to find all the references necessarily. They just work. Search through all the repos.
So I think we'll have this meeting next Tuesday, and that'll remind us that we need to move the repos, and assuming all the release stuff is done by then, we could make the request after the meeting on Tuesday, and that will be a reminder to everyone that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I see there's a request to update the website calendar for this call. Actually forgotten that calendar existed, to be honest.
That's been done.
Is there any other business people want to discuss today? Then thanks everybody, and we'll have the next call next week. I won't be able to attend that one, so Pete's going to run it. So the login link will be different for that. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.